last piece, I've been joking around a lot, but we are really privileged tonight to have an actual honest-to-God economist with us tonight. He is an economist at the Hoover Institution at Stanford University. He is the host of the Econ Talk podcast, which is available on iTunes. He is the author of the aforementioned How Adam Smith Can Change Your Life, an Unexpected Guide to Human Nature and Happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be presenting to us, he's going to be embodying the great economist Adam Smith and helping us to understand what Adam Smith really meant by the invisible hand of the market. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's give a warm Money Lab welcome to Russ Roberts in a conversation with Adam Smith.
Adam Smith was born in 1723 in Kirkcaldy, Scotland. He died in 1790. He wrote two books. One, which was actually his favorite, which you may not have heard of, is The Theory of Moral Sentiments. That book was published in 1759. It was an exploration of the judgments we make about the conduct and character of others, as well as of ourselves. His other book, slightly more famous, published in the auspicious year of 1776, an inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nations. And in that book, he examined the human propensity to truck barter and exchange, an activity we've seen a great deal of tonight. And he was interested in the implications of that propensity for the division of labor, for specialization, and for prosperity. Now, if Adam Smith could come back and talk to us for just 5 minutes, what would he have to say? Let's find out. There is order built into the fabric of the world. We know this when we look up at the heavens and we see the planets moving in perfect motions around the sun. It took the great Isaac Newton to discover what force held their motions in such precision, the force of gravity. There is harmony in our relationships as well, in our social interactions, in our commercial interactions. But we are not as predictable as the planets or the stars. No equations can encompass the crooked timber that is humanity. And yet there is harmony. And I spent my life thinking about what is it that keeps us from colliding? What keeps us from banging into one another? If you go down to Venezuela right now, and I've been there because I have means of travel that you do not. If you go down to Venezuela, you will see people fighting over bread. You will see people stealing bread in the middle of the night. You will see people waiting in line in the sweltering heat for hours to get at the most basic of products. Something has gone terribly wrong there. Their society is not harmonious. They are in conflict, but not here in New York City. I've walked your streets. I've seen a profusion of bread. Round loaves, short loaves, thin loaves, fat loaves, and those little round things with the holes in the middle. Josh, what are those called? No, not the donuts. I would never eat a donut. Those are terrible for you. Mark, what am I thinking of? Round sesame seeds on the outside. Ah, that's it, bagels, thank you. I have seen bagels and all kinds of bread in profusion. It's all there waiting for us. And if you think about it, think about what your favorite kind of bread is. Mark, what is your favorite kind of bread?
Rye.
Rye, an excellent choice, as you'll see in a moment. Josh, your favorite? Plain, okay, plain. That would be Wonder Bread, perhaps, which we're going to discuss in a minute. Do you have a favorite kind of bread? Can you name a type of bread? Any kind.
Garlic?
Garlic bread, excellent. And you?
French.
French bread. And you?
Sourdough.
Sourdough, another excellent choice. And name another.
Pizza dough?
Pizza dough.
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat.
7th grade.
7th grade.
I'm gluten intolerant.
Oh, God bless you. Gluten intolerant, which you'll appreciate is a very, very important thing for this show, as you'll see in a second. I'm sorry to hear that, so you can't have regular bread. Is there bread for you, though? Do you eat other kinds of things?
Rice.
Can you eat a sandwich?
Rice bread.
You can have rice bread. Other kinds of bread. Can we get a couple more?
Pompolino.
What was that?
Bialys.
Bialys.
Italian.
Italian.
Flatbread.
Flatbread.
A rosemary focaccia.
Avocado. What else? Pumpernickel. Come on, yell them out. Tortillas. So what an extraordinary thing. Now here's my question. You each have your own favorites that you like to make, say, a sandwich out of. Do you ever worry that when you go to the baker, that your bread will not be available? That all of the bread, who likes rye? And who likes sourdough? So you like rye, and you go to the baker and you say, you know, I'm kind of worried about, what's your name? Karin, shake out the bread and the flour and the dough. Could you make sure you make some for me this week? Because I'm afraid, do you ever petition City Hall for your favorite kind of bread? If you're going to have a party, and you're going to have a bunch of people over, and you're going to order a lot more of those round things for a brunch, say, do you ever say, oh, I'm coming in later because I know I only usually get one, but I'm getting a few dozen tomorrow. Would it be okay? You never do that. There's harmony between your choices. And the incredible thing, flour and dough aren't just used for bread, they're used for other things. Like, for example, help me out. Pasta. What is pasta? I'm from Scotland. What is pasta? Something Italian, yes. But it's very popular, I understand. Right? It's very popular. What else?
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. No. There's one in every crowd. What else? What else do we got? What else? Pie.
Cake.
Cake. Cookies.
Soup stock.
What was that?
Soup stock.
Soup stock. Absolutely. What else? What are those round things with the tomatoes on top? Pizza. Now, it turns out that the United States, because I have Google where I'm at, I found out that pizza came to the United States in the later part of the 19th century. When pizza came into the world, into this part of the world, did the bread lovers have a crisis because all the dough was going to pizza? Did you suddenly have to fight with the pizza people over whether there was enough flour for you? Was there suddenly a year or two where there was no bread in the stores because pizza was popular?
Oh, but we lost forests.
We lost forests. For what purpose? I know there are many kinds of pizza. The birch bark pizza? No, he's probably thinking of, are you thinking of the fuel to make the pizza?
That, and you have to cut down more forests to make more agrarian land.
More agrarian land, more wheat. Yes, of course, that would be true. And of course, there's the ovens and the things that are used, all the tools that are used to make these different products. How extraordinary it is that there seems to be always these tools available, even though suddenly there is change. And change should disrupt. Change should cause disharmony, and yet somehow harmony persists. Now here's the puzzle. How is it that that happens? Why is it that we do not live like the people of Venezuela right now? And to answer that question, alas, would take a little more time than we have tonight. So I encourage you to read my work, but also the works of those who came after me, Bastiat, F.A. Hayek, and others who tried to understand the sources of our harmony. But to help you, the friend of mine who introduced me earlier tonight has written a poem to capture the wonder of the choreography of our human existence and the peacefulness of it. What is this called?
Clipboard.
Clipboard. What an extraordinary invention. They must sell for an enormous sum of money. Many tokens. You can see right through it. You can see right through it, and it's not glass. It's really a magnificent achievement. This poem is called Wonder Bread. If you look down upon a city with the widest bird's eye view, you might wonder how it functions. Who takes care of me and you? Who makes sure there's food for vegans and for carnivores as well? It seems that there's a wizard who has cast a magic spell. Just think of one small part. Who makes sure there's so much bread? You want rice, you want ciabatta, or make it sourdough instead? A baguette or a croissant? It doesn't matter, don't you see? You get yours, and she gets hers, and I get mine. How can that be? One's buying a dozen bagels to grace an impromptu brunch. One's using food stamps for a simple loaf to make her children lunch, no matter the amount we require, no matter the choices we make. An army of workers is mobilized. to fashion the bread we partake. The farmer who grows the wheat, the miller that grinds the flour, the baker and all the others that work hour after hour, they're all on their own. They're all making independent decisions. But somehow their plans fit together with the highest degree of precision. So there must be a czar of wheat and flour, of trucks, and of bread and yeast to allocate and oversee a plan at the very least for the unexpected change. What if the day's not like yesterday? But it never is though, is it? So what keeps chaos at bay? Because there's order all around us. Things look as if they're planned, like the supply of bread in a city, enough to match up with demand. And though flour is used for more than just bread, we never have to fight over where it goes and who gets what. So why do we sleep so well at night, knowing nobody's in charge? It looks like all is left to chance. Yet in New York, in London, as well as Paris, France, no one's worried the shelves will be empty. We take supply for granted, but it's a marvel, it's a miracle. The world's somehow enchanted. Of course, the result's never perfect, but the system's organic, alive. Over time, fewer people go hungry, and more bread lovers thrive. And if you're allergic to gluten, there are sellers who work for you too. Your choices expand, and what you demand is fashioned and waiting for you. I have my tastes. You have yours. We each have our own urges. Yet somehow there's no conflict. A harmony emerges. Our dreams can fit together like a quilt that someone weaves us. But there isn't a weaver of dreams. The reality deceives us. And here's the crazy thing. If someone really were in charge to make sure that bread was plentiful with the power to enlarge the supply of flour, yeast, of bakers, ovens too, would that person with that power have any idea of what to do? Could a minister of bread do even half as well? Would there be enough of every kind of bread upon the shelves? How could he know how much to make of each kind every day? There'd be shortages and surpluses and waste and much dismay. You might think the job is easy. If the top seller is rye, then for every variety, push production up that high. Then no one's disappointed. Bread eaters will rejoice when they see that every bakery is filled with so much choice. Bread eaters, yes. But help, the forgotten pizza lover cries, all the flour's gone. To breaking breads, there's none left for the pies of pepperoni, deep dish, thin crust, and Sicilian. You've solved the bread challenge, yes. But you've created another million problems. No problem. We'll just grow lots more wheat. But that means less of something else that people like to eat, which only makes the puzzle of this harmony around us much more puzzling. This order, this peace has to astound us. So many things we count on. But no one's behind the curtain, no wizard, no controls, yet the supply of stuff near certain. Every morning, the bakers rise early to make sure your bread is fresh, and the world gets more complicated, but somehow it all seems to mesh. Every morning, the bakers rise early, though not under anyone's command. Where in the anatomy textbooks can I view an invisible hand? The key to the process is prices, and the freedom to shop where you want. Competition among all the bakers. Make sure that they rise before dawn, to make sure the bread's near perfection, to make sure the buyer's content. You don't have to know economics to know when your money's well spent. We know there's order built into the fabric of the world, of nature, flocks of geese, schools of fish, and every boy and girl delights in how the stars shine down in all their constellations. And the planets stay on track and keep the most sublime relations with each other. Orders everywhere, yet we humans too create it. It emerges, no one intends it. No one has to orchestrate it. It's the product of our actions, but no single mind's designed it. There is magic without wizards, if you just know how to find it.